It's week 5 of the LCS right now. I am joined by Pobelter after a rough defeat at the hands of CLG. Pobelter, what's been going on with Immortals recently? Because it seems like you guys sometimes have some really good games, or you guys can put up a good fight, but then sometimes there's just a struggle to seal the deal, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes our performance on stage is a bit inconsistent. In terms of this series against CLG, I think it was mainly the Soraka pick that really caught us off guard because we hadn't practiced against it at all. And I think our bot lane was taken by surprise a lot in the lane phase because Soraka is really strong in lane. So we ended up losing our bot turret very early, both of the games that we lost. And I think that had a really big impact. So I think after we had seen it in game 1, maybe if we had prepared better against it in game 3 or decided, okay, we just have like no idea how to handle this right now. We can talk about it later, but for now we should ban Soraka. I think we could have taken the series 2-1.
Do you think that shows, just a need for Immortals to learn how to adapt in the situation, or was this just kind of like an isolated incident?
Next time, I think if we encounter like something really unexpected like that in the first game, then we'll definitely be able to handle it better than we did in this series. So that's definitely an improvement that we can look to for our future games. My voice cracked during answering that, but
Hey, listen, my voice cracks sometimes too. I tried to crack it there, I couldn't, but I'm just trying to help you feel a little bit better about it. Let's talk about CLG though, because CLG, similar to Immortals, a team that everybody always has high expectations for, given past performance, and especially both of you guys last year. But they also seem to be struggling recently as well. Obviously, won out today. What do you think of them after having played those games? Well, now you crack your voice. Now you're cracking your wrist around me a ton.
yeah, I'm just trying to crack everything right now.
Okay, yeah. Jeez. Okay. Well, maybe you can crack open this question for me. What do you what do you think of CLG after having played them in those 3 games?
CLG is always a team I respect a lot because I've played on that team in the past. They still have the same players who I think are good. They just always have that upset potential, even if they're doing poorly. So even if they're not doing as well this season as compared to previous seasons, you always have to respect them. And I think, yeah, definitely they played a lot better as a team today, and we can take a lot of things from the series, learn from them, learn how they exploited some of our weaknesses, and also their drafting. So, yeah.
And I know, kind of a tough question. I apologize for this, but last year you were on this team, had so much success during the regular split. Now, obviously, struggling here. How is that affecting you personally?
Yeah, it's kind of it was kind of weird getting the shock of like losing a good amount of games that we are this year because last year we were just like kind of sailing through both of the splits, even if we kind of didn't do so great in playoffs. We were still winning all the time, and even before then on CLG we had a extremely good record in regular season and we swept playoffs. So for me it was kind of weird getting used to just losing games. It's like, oh wow, it feels like I'm on Winter Fox again. We're losing.
I was about to make that comment. Is there like deep within you a steel heart that's been built up by your time on Winter Fox?
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely not as bad as it was back then. Back then it was like hopeless, but
Right.
for now we are just, even if we're losing, and we're not even doing that poorly right now. I'd say we're like middle of the table, and as a new team, I don't think it would be fair for us to have the expectation set so high, which is like, we have to do as well as we did last year. I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Yeah.
So even though we are losing a lot, and sometimes it's hard because losing really sucks,
Yeah.
we just try to get what we can get out of our losses and keep improving so that we can lose less in the future.
Now, I know you did an interview last week with Avli May, our protege at Yahoo Esports, but in it you mentioned that you were trying to stop maybe over practicing, I guess. You had been spending a lot of time and you were trying to spend time getting out there, maybe seeing a movie with Wild Turtle, et cetera. How, an extra week later, how's that been going for you?
I think I definitely played better today than I played like the first few weeks. I still made a lot of mistakes. I think the third game, I probably have a lot of responsibility in that defeat because I had a really big early lead, and then I just like kind of didn't use it that well and threw it away. So I'm still not like playing that well, but I think overall it's been a lot better for my mental, and that's helping me a lot more in performing on stage because if I'm putting in more hours, it's just in NA solo queue, which is really just drastically different from stage play. And so it doesn't feel like this is like what Sarah said a while ago, and it was like a really popular post, but it doesn't feel that useful for him. Mm-hmm. And I kind of have to agree with that sentiment. And what I was doing when I was practicing super hard the first few weeks was I would just play solo queue until my eyes were like super dry. And so basically we had like a 1 hour break between scrims, and I just like pop a solo queue game in there, solo queue before we started scrimming, solo queue after we're scrimming. So I would just be playing for like maybe like 16 hours. Maybe that's excessive, maybe like somewhere around 14, but yeah, it was pretty much just like 8 hours of scrims, and the rest would just be solo queue. And then for me, I think it's just better for my performance on stage to just use that time to kind of relax, still play some solo queue, but not grind out all the games. I think if it were like, Korean solo queue, everyone's all like, hell yeah, Korean solo queue. There is some merit to that, and maybe that would be more useful, but the reality is we're in North America, and the quality of practice that you get from solo queue doesn't feel as great.
That's so sad, I think it's just kind of fits that constant narrative of so many people talking about like how much solo queue is too much solo queue. I've heard players sometimes say like, it's frustrating when my teammates don't solo queue and they need to be practicing more. Then I've heard other players say like solo queue makes me worse. So it's just interesting to kind of hear that storyline going on for so long now. Is there anything that you would like to say to any of the fans on Immortals? I know you've been kind of keeping it quiet and taking like a social media break. I don't know if that's ended for you, but anything that you want to say?
Thanks for supporting me, even though I'm not doing that well this split. I have like a hella bad KDA, and I've kind of been feeding my ass off for the first 2 weeks, but it's getting better. Had a really good week last week, and not as good of a start this week, but I'm doing all right still. So just gonna keep trying to play better. So thanks for supporting me and the team.
Yeah, needs more Victor maybe.
Oh God, man, I tried it, but Victor's actually just really bad right now, I think.
Yeah, I miss those days of just sniping people from the other side of the map with a laser beam. It was ridiculous. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things esports here at Yahoo Esports.